Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Sorry it's been a while since I last put out a video. Unfortunately I've had some live dramas to deal with, and as a result I haven't been able to get out for any wildlife photography. However, I am out for wildlife photography today. You join me on the Pembrokeshire coast. Right behind me you can see a really nice view. I'm actually going to Skomer Island today to photograph puffins. Now I have been here before. I was here last year. I had all intentions of making a vlog, but I got so carried away enjoying the actual photography that I forgot to record things. So this time I'm making a bit more of a conscious effort to record more so I can bring you along for the journey with me. So in around about 40 minutes, I'll be checking in to board a boat off to Skomer Island, and right now I'm actually on the mainland in Pembrokeshire at a campsite. It's called West Hook Farm campsite. It's right next to where you board the boat for Skomer Island, so it's a perfect place to come the night before, for example, camp over, as we've done. If I just sort of spin you around quickly, you can see campsite there in the background, and a really nice view of the sea immediately behind me. Right, so for those of you interested in terms of the technical gear today, I'm with my girlfriend who'll also be photographing, so we're sharing cameras. She'll be on an R7 with a 100 to 500mm lens with a teleconverter if she needs it. I will be on an R6 with a 200 to 800. I will say though that the 200 to 800, to be honest with you, is probably a little bit longer than I really want it to be. I would much rather have a 100 to 500, but you know, I will give her the better equipment for this time, I think, and I'll make do with what I've got. You don't need lenses of that length. The Puffins are, from my experience, very used to people, and they'll walk around you. So even if you've only got, you know, a kit lens or a 100mm lens, for example, you know, you've still got every chance of taking really nice, good pictures of puffins. All I know is that they were here last year when I arrived in April. I don't know if they're still here now. It is 12th of July, Saturday the 12th of July. I hope they're still around, or I hope that a few of them are still around. But if not, you know, we'll go on the island, enjoy the day and make the most of it nevertheless. It is a hot day today, so I better go and put some sunscreen on, and I'll see you at the check-in area for the boat. So here is the lodge where check-in is done for the boat trip to Skomer Island. There's also some souvenirs in here, a limited number of refreshments and things as well. So very helpful staff, and if you've forgotten your binoculars or even a sun hat as I did, you can purchase one there to take. Right, so the eagle-eyed amongst you will see that I am now sporting a Skomer Island hat. So I've made a couple of mistakes. The first mistake is forgetting to pack a hat on what is so far going to be the hottest weekend of the year in the UK. The second, and perhaps bigger mistake, is I've muddled up my days. So when I got to the check-in lodge, I was expecting them to check me into the boat at 12. Turns out I've booked the boat at 12 tomorrow on the last day. So I'm walking back to the campsite where I'm going to sort of change bags and stuff, because I've managed to book an hour and a half boat tour around Skomer and Skomer Island. So I'm going to do that, hopefully bring you along for the journey. Now, I'm not going to take two cameras, I'm afraid, because it's just too much of a faff, especially on my own. Two DSLRs to vlog and take pictures with on a boat, I'll be a right pain. So I'll just take the one camera, take some pictures and show you what those are, and then I'll talk you through afterwards how the boat tour was. So just jumping in during editing to let you know how the boat trip went. First of all, very enjoyable. I took a trip that lasted around about an hour and a half. It went around Skomer Island and Skomer Island. The guides are very knowledgeable, they know their stuff, and you will learn a lot. The one thing I will say though is that if you're hoping to get up close and personal to puffins or any of the seabirds, I don't think you're going to have too much luck on the boat trip, at least I didn't anyway. There's no substitute for landing on Skomer Island on foot if you want to get up close and personal to puffins, in my opinion. You will see the seabirds on the boat and the puffins too, but you just won't get too close to them. So I took very few shots on the boat. Also, being a crowded boat, swinging around a long lens, I didn't really want to be a pain or disrupt anyone else's experience either. So I took only a few shots, but as I say, I still think it's worth doing the boat trip if you have the time, because it just gives you that bit of extra knowledge around the local islands. So we'll rejoin the vlog on the next day as I walk towards the boarding area for the ferry towards Skomer Island. A very, very tame blackbird behind me. He's got some food in his mouth and he's quite used to people. Lovely to see. I'm actually walking now to the boarding area. I'm knackered because I filmed this already, then found my mic wasn't on, so I had to walk up the hill to do it again. So let me spin you around. Right, so just down this hill, to the left-hand side, there's a marine exhibition around showcasing, I guess, some of the marine life around Skomer Island, and there's toilets on the left-hand side. Then directly in front of us at the end is a jetty where you board the boat. Right, so boat departs from the jetty right in front of us. So I better go and join the queue for the boat, which will be in shortly. So once you land on Skomer Island, you're greeted with some very, very steep steps, but don't worry, there are a few places where you can rest as you walk up them, as I needed to a couple of times. And then once you're at the top, it's a short walk to the briefing area where you will find a map of the island. Guides will be there as well to give you some do's and don'ts and also talk you through some of the sightings and wildlife that you can expect to see. There's also a sightings board there, as you'll see there. If you haven't got any binoculars and you'd like some, you can also rent some binoculars from that briefing area as well. Right then, made it onto the island. Puffins everywhere. First thing we're going to do is probably just get some food, get some water and sort out the cameras, which means that I'm going to be giving this vlogging camera to Lindsay, my girlfriend, to use as a, there we go, as a photography camera, and I'll be on the R6. This lens doesn't do it justice, but you can just see puffins absolutely everywhere, all over the place. Obviously lots of photographers, burrows everywhere. I'll just walk past some puffins over there. Here comes another one. So basically, hopefully we'll be able to get some good shots today. Okay, so we've just stopped for a little bit of lunch first and some fluids before we walk around the island. I will just tell you about what I heard from the guides here. So there's currently some short-eared owls who I believe have bred here, given that it's July. I'm not actually going to be looking for those because I'm quite fortunate where I live in Wiltshire that I can find those fairly readily available during the winter time. Obviously I'm here for the puffins primarily. Marsh harrier has also been spotted, which is quite an unusual or uncommon bird for me. Choughs are on the island again. If I see those, I'll be very, very happy to take photographs of them. Razorbills, guillemots are here as well. Again, all birds that I don't often get to take photographs of, so I'll be hopefully able to capture quite a few nice shots of those as well. Right, just waiting for my food to cook, which is a dehydrated meal, and then we'll be on our way. Right, I've just been at a place on Skomer Island called The Wick. I didn't film sort of piece of camera there. It's so full of people, very, very narrow area. I didn't really want to be a bit sort of selfish in the area. Lots of puffins there. They're getting very, very close to people. They're walking out in front of people. Hopefully you'll be able to see some footage and some photos there. As you'll see from probably the shadows on my face right now, it's very, very harsh lighting conditions. It's a lovely, bright, sunny day. And with that bright sun comes challenges with the light. So I'm not going to get my best puffin shots here today, I'm sure, because I've got harsh light. But I don't think that detracts from, you know, the pictures, the composition, the challenge of getting a good composition as well. And overall, it's just, you know, it's just nice to see them. And it's a nice layout, so still huge thumbs up. Haven't seen any baby puffins yet. On the plus side, I did manage to take a few photos of puffins with sand eels in their mouths, but not quite the bucket shot that I'm after, which is a frame filling shot with nice soft light of a puffin with sand eels. That one I think will probably elude me today, but nevertheless, I can't complain. Walking round the island now in an anti-clockwise direction towards the south, where I believe there's probably going to be another significantly large puffin colony. So we'll see what that brings. On the way there, we passed this rocky outcrop, so to speak, where we sat down, took on some fluids, had something to eat, heard a peregrine falcon, saw it take off from the rocky island over the sea, but unfortunately I just wasn't quick enough with the camera and I missed the shot. But still nice to see and hear all the same. So approaching a second kind of what looks like a sizable colony of puffins, just, well, you can probably see where all the people are really. So just on those sloping hills there. What I am encouraged about is that the sun is going to be right behind the puffins. If I just show you, and then hopefully that will mean that at least the sun's in the best position. If I can find a puffin in shade, perhaps using natural materials, bracken, or, you know, coming out of its burrow, or whatever I can find to cast shade, then that will hopefully give me a bit better light on the bird itself and lead to better pictures. I'll see what I can do, but I think it's going to be challenging. Right, okay everyone, the trip to Skomer Island has come to an end, unfortunately. There's quite a lot of people boarding the boat. I didn't want to film anyone that might not want to be filmed, etc. So I just kept my vlogging camera away. On a positive note, the sunlight, the harsh sunlight, did fade towards the end of the day. So, well, it was still a nice day, but the sun went behind a little bit of cloud, which was giving me some diffused light and therefore some more flattering shots of the puffins overall at one of the other locations. Unfortunately, I would have wished or loved to have that flattering light at my first location, because that's where I find that I get the best backgrounds and shots and things. But hey, you know, all in all, fantastic time here. I will leave links in the description to the campsite and to the website, so that if anyone wants to visit Skomer Island, you can go there and book. It does get very, very busy, so you need to book in advance. You can only book by online booking in advance. And when I say in advance, I mean months in advance, probably. They do sell out very, very quickly, obviously, especially during peak puffin times, which I believe are going to be sort of middle of April to end of June is probably the peak time. I'm actually middle of July, so tail end of the season. Yeah, if you've enjoyed watching, learned anything, then please give the video a thumbs up. And can I ask you also to consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed? That's it. I will see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.